Hello, everybody. We are talking about the Traitors US Season 3, which will be starting next week. And I haven't covered the last two seasons on this channel, but there's two big reasons why I want to cover this season. A, because I recorded my very own Traitors game online version that will be airing later this year, hopefully in the spring, but could be a little later. It's still an early post-production. But two, because I got a couple spoilers, unfortunately, for this season, and it's two things that I will be able to rant about a lot, and I know some of my viewers enjoy when I have something to rant about. There will be some shit to rant about this season on the Traitors. But today, I just want to talk about the cast, give a little cast assessment, because I don't know about everybody on the cast. I don't love the cast looking at it on paper. Season 2 was hyped up a lot because of the cast, and I enjoyed season 2 overall. I do find the last half of season 2 to not be very good, which is why I prefer season 1. I also like the half regular folks, half reality stars better than just all reality stars. It's nice to have new blood. It's something I've learned doing my own games. But let's talk about this cast. It is celebrities and reality stars again. I mean, I don't know half the cast pretty much at this point, but let's talk about them. We're going to start with Wells Adams. And anyone from The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, I'm not going to know. Never really watched this show. Can never get into it. He was on The Bachelorette, competed on that, and then I guess he was in Bachelor in Paradise. Yeah, I know nothing about him, so I don't know what to expect from him at all. He is married to Sarah Hyland of Modern Family fame, who also hosted Love Island USA for a bit. She was the inferior host of that show. Yeah, I have nothing to say about Wells because I don't know him, but he looks like someone that would be a bad traitor, so I hope he's not a traitor. Let's talk about Tony next. Tony from Survivor, a two-time Survivor winner. We saw the other two-time Survivor winner, Sandra, compete last season. And I thought Sandra played an overall great game. She played her style of anyone but me on the Traitors. She made that work. She did not like when a big alliance was forming without her. Wanted to go against that alliance, even though that alliance was made up of faithful. But people like Sandra, people like Tony bring strategies to the game that I want to see on the show. I think Tony should be a very fun player to watch. I hope Tony is not a traitor because he would be too obvious as a traitor. I worry for Tony because he's such a big target that if he's not a traitor, he likely goes out early, which would suck for the season overall. But I have very low expectations for this season, which we will get to towards the end of this video when I talk about the twist. Tony is always good TV, so I hope he sticks around for a bit to bring his outside-of-the-box style that he usually brings to a strategy game. So I'm looking forward to seeing Tony on the show. If he is a traitor, I think he would be okay. I don't know. We saw Dan last season. Dan, one of the best Big Brother players, came into the Traitors and played horrible as a traitor. So that potential is there for Tony to overplay as a traitor. I could easily see that happening. Tom Sandoval, who I only know from hearsay, he seems to be quite a villain on Vanderpump Rules, at least over the past couple of years, because he was in a relationship with Ariana Madix, who just hosted this past season of Love Island USA, the superior host of that show. I think Tom has kind of been drugged through the mud because he cheated on Ariana with a co-star. Probably rightfully so. I mean, if Tom is a scumbag like he seems to be, I think he could be an interesting traitor if he is a traitor. I don't know if they would make him a traitor or not, but I do want to see what he brings to the table. He does have this reputation now after cheating on Ariana, so we'll see what he brings to a competition game. Up next is Sam Asghari. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Don't love this casting. It seems like he's just casted because he was married to Britney Spears. He was in Britney Spears' Instagram videos. This is just the kind of casting that I would rather just see a normal, regular person, like I said, from season 1. Just have the cast being regular people. If this is the kind of people you have to cast for the show, bad casting. Not looking forward to him on the show. Robin Dixon, one of the many housewives cast this season. Q and I just started watching Potomac. We haven't recorded any videos on Potomac yet, and they probably won't be posted for at least a few weeks when we do record them. But I do know Robin now from at least one season of Potomac. And I find her to be a bottom tier housewife. And anything I know about Robin outside of season 1 of Potomac isn't good stuff. So, once again, don't love the casting. I think she could be an antagonist. Do I think she would make a good traitor? Not gonna lie. Just judging by the one season I've seen of her on Potomac, she's not the sharpest tool in the shed. So, no, I don't think she would be a good traitor. Nikki Garcia, a.k.a. Nikki Bella of WWE fame. As a big wrestling fan, I, of course, know Nikki Bella. She was also on the reality show Total Divas, where she had to deal with John Cena's annoying OCD ass on that show. I'm looking forward to see what Nikki brings to the table. I think she can be entertaining. She was very calm in dealing with John Cena, but they were in a relationship together. I feel like Nikki can be fiery, though, and I hope she can bring some of that, at least some drama. If she's going to bring anything, hopefully some of these people can at least bring some drama, because I am not looking forward to the twists this season, and I'm not sure what to expect from the gameplay, especially after last season. But I want to see what Nikki brings. I think she could be a good traitor. I think she could be a good faithful. I think WWE wrestlers are very underestimated because people think, oh, they're wrestlers, they're probably dumb. But when you ever listen to wrestlers speak, they get psychology very well because wrestling is psychology. So I think Nikki can actually be someone that will be underrated this season as a player. This next casting, Lord Ivar Mountbatten. I didn't like when they casted someone from British politics last season, and I certainly don't like it again here. I'm going to sound very Americana here, but there is a Traitors UK, so just cast these people on Traitors UK, even though Traitors UK casts real people and not celebrities. I don't like this casting at all, not even a little bit. Not looking forward to him at all, even though the British guy, whose name I don't remember from season 2, did end up at times being decent TV. I don't expect much from Lord Ivar. Jeremy Collins. Jeremy on Survivor. I love Jeremy as a player. I love Jeremy as a winner on Survivor. But Jeremy is definitely a faithful through and through, which intrigues me to want to see him as a traitor, to see how he would play an underhanded game. Like, Jeremy has done blindsides in Survivor, so he's not like this total, hero of a character on competition games. But I do think it would be more interesting to see him as a traitor than a faithful. But I think he would probably make a really good faithful because that's the kind of game he plays. I can see him trying to use Tony as a shield again, like he did on Winners at War, season 40 of Survivor, but he failed in that aspect. I think that he could be more successful at this season because Tony is such a big target, in my opinion. Next up is Gabby Wendy, another Bachelor person from The Bachelorette. I know nothing about her, so I literally can't say anything. So I don't know what to expect. Hopefully she's a pleasant surprise. Next up, Dylan Efron, the brother of Zac Efron. Does he not know that Claim to Fame exists? Maybe he's been on Claim to Fame. I don't know. I don't really watch that show. But that is where, there are people related to celebrities, and other players on the cast have to guess who they're related to. Think he would have been perfect on that show. Don't think he brings anything to the table on this show. But maybe he will be entertaining. I am going to give him the benefit of the doubt that just because he's a celebrity's brother, and I would rather see real people all cast on this show rather than just all celebrities, or in this case, someone related to celebrities, maybe he will at least be entertaining, I hope, for our sake. Dorinda Medley, another housewife. I know that Dorinda allegedly is not afraid to be in drama, so that makes me like her as a casting. Out of all the housewives casted this season, she's the only one I'm looking forward to. So I hope she at least brings the drama, because some of the other casting leaves me scratching my head, which brings up Dolores, who was on the Housewives of New Jersey. The only thing I know about Dolores is that she was voted Miss Congeniality on all the Housewives shows, which means she's probably very likable, which means she should probably be a faithful, which could mean she could be a traitor that's under the radar because everybody loves her, but I just hope she's entertaining. I'm disappointed in the casting of the Housewives this season because Robin's not funny. Dolores doesn't seem funny. The housewife I haven't gotten to yet doesn't seem funny. So that just leaves literally Dorinda as the potential entertaining person. So I don't love the Housewives cast of this season. I get it's a Peacock show, which is connected to Bravo. So they've casted some very entertaining housewives in the past. Don't love what we got from the Housewives this cast, though. I do love the casting of Danielle Reyes, who is probably the best player to never win Big Brother. She lost because of a bitter jury way back in the day. She was just on Big Brother Reindeer Games in 2023, which we will get to when we talk about another person cast from Big Brother this season. I love Danielle Reyes as a player. She is very cunning. She's not afraid to be messy. She's not afraid of giving us great diary rooms. So for that reason alone, I want to see her get far. She might be one of those people that's too obvious as a traitor, though. So I kind of don't want her to be a traitor. I just hope, whether she's a traitor or a faithful, she brings her great strategic mind to this show. Sierra Miller, who is on Bravo's Summer House and Winter House. I know literally nothing about her. Just hope she is entertaining, like I've said about the people that I don't know. Next up is Chriselle Staus, who is on Selling Sunset on Netflix. She was married to Justin Hartley from This Is Us. I've never seen Selling Sunset, but I know her very well as a soap opera star before she was on reality TV. She used to be on All My Children. So for that alone, I also talk soap operas here, not as much these days as I used to, but with a new soap opera starting this year, I want to start talking about them a lot again. We'll see what she brings to the table. As a soap opera actress, she knows her drama. She knows her acting. Maybe a little too over the top sometimes on soap operas. But that doesn't necessarily mean that she won't make a great traitor just for that reason alone. I don't think they'll make her a traitor, though, but we'll see. Cherie Aon, who was on The Real Housewives of Dubai, the least watched housewife show. Like I said, the Housewives cast this season, disappointing. Next up is, we're going to talk about Britney next of Big Brother. Because, like I said, Danielle Reyes and Britney were on Big Brother Reindeer Games in 2023. They talked about it in the preview to this season that the Traitors posted, that they have beef from that season. And leave it to Big Brother, where only Big Brother players can have beef from a Christmas show. But these two do. Reindeer Games was like a Christmas version of Big Brother. There was no live feeds, which is probably why it was canceled after just one season, because live feeds are that show's lifeblood. I watched some of it, wasn't that great, but Britney did have a hand in Danielle going home, which is why they're coming into the season with beef. And Danielle saying in a confessional already that we've seen from the preview that she will forgive Britney, but certainly won't forget. I will not be surprised if one of them causes the other's demise this season, even though it is in their best interest to work together as long as they can. We'll talk about Carolyn next from Survivor, one of the more recent seasons of Survivor. I hate all of the recent seasons of Survivor. Carolyn's a very entertaining character, though, so I will give her that. I also think she does have, strategies. She's strategic in her own way, even though she's a huge character. We see in the preview she's standing over playing with past Survivor stars Tony and Jeremy. I don't know if that bodes well for them or for her, because she clearly doesn't know them as well as they know each other. Will that put a target on their back? Will it put a target on her back? Or can they actually work together just because they're Survivor alum? I don't know. The Survivor players did not get as messy as past Big Brother players have. So I'd like to think all three players can work together and work well together. Next up, Bob Harper from The Biggest Loser. He was not a contestant. He was one of the trainers for the show, I believe. I've seen some episodes of The Biggest Loser back in the day, very sporadically. I have no idea what to expect from him as a player in a competition show. I do, however, feel as though, for some reason, I feel like he would be a good traitor. I don't know why I feel that way. I just think it's because when you see Bob Harper, he's from Biggest Loser. Oh, he was a trainer on Biggest Loser. People are going to automatically think, oh, he's going to be great at the challenges. But it's people like Bob Harper that would make for a good traitor, because they're the person you look at and is like, they could go either way. And I think every season should have one of those players be the traitor if I was the producer. I think Bob is that player this season. Speaking of Bobs, though, the person I'm looking most forward to this season is Bob the Drag Queen. One of my favorite people from RuPaul's Drag Race. She's very hilarious. And I think that Bob should be a traitor. I only think Bob should be a traitor because I want Bob to stick around, because I think Bob will be great TV. And they refuse to cast more than one person from RuPaul's Drag Race for whatever reason, even though it's one of the more popular reality shows of the past decade plus now. But, we could cast a bunch of subpar housewives. Why not cast more drag queens from RuPaul's Drag Race? Because they're going to bring the drama guaranteed. They had one last season. She went home early. I think Bob has the potential to go home early if Bob is not a traitor. So Bob better be a traitor. That leaves us with the twist to talk about. And the twist is that the people already cast have the chance to vote somebody else into the game by eliminating one of the players, I think, that is surrounding them. When they first come into the game, that person is in a hood, and then they reveal who it is, and it's Boston Rob. And I sit there and wonder, how is Boston Rob good for this twist? I get it. Boston Rob is iconic on Survivor, but I just don't understand how that fits onto this show, The Traitors. He has no past connection to The Traitors. And let's just be real for a minute with Boston Rob. Rob played 4 seasons, and it took his 4th season for him to truly win the game. He could have won his 2nd season he was on All Stars, because he did play a great game on All Stars. I will give him that, but he was so stabbing people in the back all the time that he had a bitter jury. But then his fourth season comes along, and Survivor basically hands him the win by casting him just two returning players on separate tribes. And on Boston Rob's tribe, they give him a tribe full of people who are Boston Rob stans. So it's basically a bunch of Boston Rob marks who love Boston Rob. So of course they keep Boston Rob in the game. And it's like production did this that season so that Rob could do the strategy he always wanted to do, which was like create a cult that he keeps in line. That's exactly what happened. It was almost production's biggest hand a person a winner until Ben came along. But most importantly, the last time we saw Rob on his fifth season, Winners at War, he was a shell of his former self. He was washed up. Boston Rob was washed up, and he's standing there in front of this group of people, taking off his mask, and he's standing across from Tony, who won Winners at War. So that alone just makes this twist totally illogical. Why is Boston Rob so big that you're treating Boston Rob differently from anyone else in the game, especially when Tony's on the other side, who beat Boston Rob? It doesn't make any sense. It's a terrible twist that makes no sense. And why I hate this twist is because this is not a show that anyone should be treated any differently than anyone else. If you're going to cast all these reality stars, what makes someone bigger than anyone else? I don't see how Rob is bigger than anyone playing this game this season. If they had brought back Cherie from season 1, at least she's connected to the game, but nobody would vote Cherie back into the game anyway. Last season would maybe make more sense. If they brought back Trishelle or CT, who won the game as Faithful, I could see why they would be brought back into the game because they were great Faithful. And people could think, oh, maybe we should vote them into the game. If most of us are going to be Faithful, why not vote them in? But this Boston Rob twist makes no sense. And why I hate it even more is because, spoiler alert, this is where you should end the video if you don't want spoilers, because this is the whole reason I am covering this season, well, other than the fact that I want to promote my own Traitors game starting sometime later this year. This twist will lead to a future twist in the season that will make even less sense than this twist already does. So stop this video right here if you don't want a spoiler alert. Rob is not going to be voted in. Most likely, from what I have been spoiled about. I didn't want to be spoiled, but I was spoiled about this. That's going to lead to a twist where Rob gets to enter the game mid-season with two other players from other reality shows. Wes from The Challenge, who we just saw on House of Villains, who played a great game, but then looked so bad towards the end of that game when he got on his knees and begged for the win, and then they didn't vote him for the win. Just looking pathetic. But that's the person that gets a overpowered twist in this show. The other person is Derek, the winner of Big Brother 16. The biggest reason why I hate this twist, because people like Derek are too afraid to play a game again from the beginning because they want keep their reputation intact. You look at Dan last season, he came in, he did hurt his reputation as a player by playing so terribly, but I give way more credit to Dan for doing that than someone like Derek, who is afraid to play another game again, but will play this season because he gets to come in mid-season. But my biggest irk of it all is that neither of these three people deserve this big, powerful twist by coming in mid-season. So it's going to be very annoying. We also see Parvati and Kate again in the previews. I don't know. I would like to think they're not going to be players again too, because we've seen Kate play 2 seasons in a row. Loved Kate in the first season. Didn't enjoy her in season 2. So this season's going to be ruined by twists. I'm just letting you all know now. But I'm here to rant about it. And best believe when this twist takes place mid-season and this overpowered twist, that makes no sense for a game like the Traitors, because I don't care if they make one of them a traitor or not. Nobody should be coming in the game, just like Kate last season, midway through the show. It doesn't make any sense for the structure of the game where there's traitors from the beginning of the game. It's stupid. And I don't know why producers just do too many twists in their shows and then thus ruin the show in the process. But that is what we'll be getting from producers this season. But yeah, we will talk about the Traitors next week when it begins. I would like to think at least the early episodes will be entertaining again, like last season. But we'll see. The cast on paper, subpar.